All right. When I got off of the bus in Montana, or not Montana, in Rapid City, South Dakota, it was as I was getting off the bus that Bobby Forrest got hold of me to let me know that Alicia Bollinger was missing. Now, thank goodness she was found. Um, there is a man who was on that bus who was trying to help me find her. Calling him now.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Kirkland.
Yes.
This is Sean Schwartz.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good. I'm not sure if you remember me.
I don't know. I met you somewhere, probably, hang on one second.
Yes, sir.
Traveling, most likely. The bus station?
Yes, sir. I met you. There was a young woman in when I was in Rapid City, South Dakota. As I was getting off the bus, there was a young woman who I found out was missing.
Oh, yeah, I remember, yeah.
Yes, sir. You guys helped me to get some gloves and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, by the way, she was found. She's I don't know if she's safe. She's addicted to drugs still, and she was with her father, who is a very, very bad man. But um, I, when I tell these stories, people treat me like I'm schizophrenic, like I'm making them up, or like it's a figment of my imagination.
Yeah. A lot
Um,
of people probably would think that, but sometimes people just need to listen.
See, that's very much what I've been saying. A lot of people have problems with listening. Um, I've had my rights violated across the board, and I know you gave me your card. It says you're a constitutional, self-claimed officer, Bill of Rights advocate, Overwatch.
Yes.
Um, I've had my rights violated from coast to coast. When I met you, I was literally traveling from. There was a guy in Virginia who was going to try to help me, but he was addicted to methamphetamines. And so it was a very volatile situation, and I was trying to flee that situation. But I'm disabled. Um, when my whole situation started, it started over rescuing the twin sister of the young woman who I was trying to help find there in South Dakota.
Yeah.
She ended up getting shot in the head after, well, it was a little over a year of me being threatened, harassed, and assaulted repeatedly when I tried to go see my family. Now, I'm autistic, um, and I have a lot of issues as a result of that with sensory processing.
Yeah.
Like if there's background noise, I can't concentrate. Medications don't help. All I can do when I need to concentrate is find a quiet place. But I was assaulted by an officer named Waylon Lolatai in Boulder, Colorado. If you look his name up on the internet, he was kicked out of the Denver Police Department for assaulting a man. And instead of charging him with a crime, they allowed him to leave and be hired on by Boulder Police Department. Um, and in Boulder, he assaulted me after Natalie Bollinger was shot in the head. Um, I've been trying to get my disability money back and my housing back for about 2 years, but nearly everywhere that I go, people don't understand the sensory processing thing and the fact that I literally need help in person. As far as the internet goes, they keep telling me that I have to call these places, and I call them and it does no good. All the people they tell me to call, I've tried calling all of those people, internal affairs, the FBI, all of these places. On my YouTube channel, I literally have hundreds of phone calls between myself and the FBI where I'm trying to get them to do something. And as soon as they hear the word homeless, a lot of them hang up. As soon as I say that I was assaulted by a police officer. A lot of them hang up. Um, so I was calling you because I was hoping. I don't know if you can advocate for me at all, but I was hoping that I might be able to find out, what you can tell me about that, if anything.
Yeah. Well, what I would do if I was in your situation and they're so corrupt, I would just file. I would do the paperwork and do a criminal complaint and a breach of constitutional contract violations, and list the police officer and all the parties that you contacted for help as defendants, and send it up to DC, to the Trump administration. Is what I would do.
I've actually attempted that. As far as getting the paperwork goes, without my disability money, that's one of the ways that they were able to prey on me to prevent me from doing that. But the officer who assaulted me, they later dropped the charges because they had a better frame up job. When I
Well, if they drop the charges, then you just get all your discovery paperwork together and send it to me. We'll write up a criminal complaint, and there's a few options we can go after. We can just file a criminal complaint against the police officer and put it on the record, and see if we get him fired from his position for one, and replaced or whatever, or and then you can go after the institution for him being the police officer under their insurance policy. Get all their insurance information and file a claim to the insurance agent.
Yes, sir. That officer, he was involved in 6 other assaults after me, and several people already have filed things against him, which is in our favor. But also, as a result of that situation, since they dropped the charges, but the felony assault against a police officer is still on my arrest record, I've been assaulted by police nationwide. So that's another thing to consider. And also with that hospital, the things that I was speaking out about, there's a lot of documentation that I spoke out about those things. They literally killed a man doing the things that I was saying that they were doing only a few months later. And they're actually being closed down because of that right now.
Yeah.
There's a guy named Tony Kovaleski with Denver 7 News, and he actually did a special on Waylon Lolatai and on Clearview Behavioral Health. So both of those situations, they already have people that are dealing with that, but I'm wanting to also try to bring charges. It has to be federal because of the situation of police nationwide seeing that assault against a police officer and treating me the way that they have, and taking advantage of my disabilities as a result of that as well.
Yeah, the only thing you can do is any constitutional violations or civil violations has to be filed in a federal court. But I don't know how to sue, and I don't sue. What I do is I read discovery. I tell you what crimes they did against you, and I write up a criminal document showing what the institutions and the police officers violated against you. And then what we do is we do mail-outs, and you plant the evidence in the seats from the mail-outs, and then when you decide to go sue, you have everything you need there to process for a lawsuit.
Yes, sir. A lot of the criminal discovery, because I spoke out about how the system is broken in Colorado for a lot of years. So after Natalie was killed and it was all over the news, they basically did everything that they could to paint me as a villain to the public and to shut me down so that I couldn't speak out at the time. I'm trying to remember my point about that. Oh yes, my public pretenders and the judges and the DA's office in multiple jurisdictions took part in not allowing much of the stuff that should have been in discovery into the courtroom or anything of that nature. They told me that the body cam footage at the time didn't exist. But later on, when I called up, there was an officer who was involved in covering up the crimes of my friend Danny was killed. He was injected with a hot shot behind the pedestrian shop in Boulder, Colorado, and that's you can look at the news articles about that too. They're actually on the internet and through the Daily Camera and things like that. They had a phone call at around 6 a.m. saying that Danny was dead, and that's in the newspaper article. But they didn't do anything. I found him dead at 10 o'clock. Myself, a man named Tony DeStassi, who was the manager there, and also a woman named Anna Alford. The name of the officer who was with that case was Sergeant Gerhardt. When I tried to turn in those officers that were involved in that were involved in my case, that was Officer Herr, Officer Lolatai, and Officer Vanderleest. He was the officer that I had to talk to, and he claimed that he looked at the body camera footage. So if he looked at the body camera footage, then obviously it did exist. But also, he's been involved in covering up the crimes of police officers previously. So he shouldn't be any part of the internal affairs investigation. And the fact is that when I spoke with him, he lied to me outright about what was on that body cam footage. Also,
here's the whole situation. Everything based on you telling me. So there's so much corruption. The only thing I can help you on is exposing the police officers, the judges, the lawyers, and the people involved that did what they did. I can help you expose them. And how I do that, once we get the paperwork all done, you have to follow the directions of what I tell you to do, and you mail them out to people and institutions that I tell you to. So that way you can bring the good guys on top of the bad guys to go after them, and it'll happen behind the scenes. Like it's happening right now. Right now, the government shut down. Right now, the military is going after judges, lawyers, and police officers as we speak. So that's
yes,
what's going on.
Well, I'm in a place where there is always noise, so it's difficult for me to be able to concentrate to do all that.
Well,
I do have
you do is you get into a place where you can concentrate. You get it on a computer. Email me the discovery, a statement of the summary, a little story if you can, of what happened from the beginning to the end. Send it all to me. I'll analyze it and I'll come up with some documents for you, and you can start mailouts. I usually charge, but I know you can't afford it. But when you do get funds or have money, you can donate to my office if you like. Okay?
Yes, sir. I am totally down with that. Absolutely.
So here's I'm going to text you back an email. You get all your discovery, everything collected, any vital papers you can find, tickets, letters, whatever you got. Get copies and get them either mailed to me or sent to me, emailed, or however you want to get them to me. You got to get them to me so I can read them and study them for a couple of weeks, and then I can draft you up a criminal complaint. Or actually, what we'll do on your situation, since you've been through all this, we'll draft up a readdress of grievance. We'll list the criminal activity. We'll list the defendants, and we'll send it up to institutions that will investigate and request an investigation from multiple institutions across the United States. That's what we'll do in your situation.
Yes, sir. I'm literally sitting here next to there's at least 2,000 to 4,000 pieces of paper just sitting on my desk about everything that has happened, because it's literally been 3 years of hell.
Okay,
and she wasn't killed until 2 years ago.
This is what I want you to do. You're going to listen to me right now. What I want you to do right now, when you get a chance and you're comfortable, write down a pain and suffering for the last 3 years. Okay? A short couple of pages or a page, it don't matter, of pain and suffering that you've been through for the past 3 years. Make a statement of it.
Yes, sir.
Write it down. And then get that to me as soon as possible. And then the last up-to-date letters, tickets, or whatever cops, judges, and lawyers that harmed you, that you claim, give me the last up-to-date documents along with that statement. Give it to me. I'll draft up something for you, and you can start attacking these guys behind the scenes, and we'll bring the black suits down on them and the military down on them.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right, and I'll text you my email now, and I'll set you up a link for cash thing. If you ever decide to donate, you just click on it. And you can send money on Cash App, whenever you have it from your phone. So
Yes, sir. Also, if there are other people that want to donate, would it be all right to give that number out or to give that Cash App out?
Of course, yeah. I got actually. We have a full team now across the United States. We have a lawsuit. We got people that specialize in certain things across the states now. I specialize on reading discovery and exposing the judge, lawyers, and police officers by reading the discovery and seeing what crimes they committed against you, and I document it. Okay.
Yes,
now
sir.
I have in Florida, Hollywood, Florida, we have a counselor there that does lawsuits. Then we have a counselor in Missouri that does house foreclosures and violations of Fourth Amendment, specializes in that. Then we have one in Texas that is part of the team. He's got his own little specialty of researching, investigating actual case laws. Then we have a lady in Minnesota that's a counselor that's part of our team that does all the above, but she specializes in actually going to court and standing up for people and fighting through the court process. We have another guy in Texas that is humble with the accent. His voice is so humble. He goes in and stands in court. He can beat him just by his voice and his accent, as long as he follows directions from the other team members. And then we have, let's see, we have right now it's all the ones that I know for sure, that top of my head. So we have a lot of resources of team members now. It's not just me now. So
all right. That's a very good thing. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'll send you an address that you can send donations to. That address, either money order or whatever, however you want to do it, silver, gold, whatever. I'll tell you what I did is I used to not charge at all, and I still don't charge. I say I don't charge. I always tell people that they can donate to the office. But when I do charge with other clients, I charge $350 just for reading discovery and writing a few papers for them, and that's it at first beginning. What I usually do. But I give the whole package forever. I never quit helping them, regardless if they pay the $350 or not. I help them forever. All I got to do is call. If they have questions, if they need help on filing papers or some guidance, that's what we do. And if I can't find out what to do for you, which I can't, because all my counselors call me. I'm like the head chief. So.
All right. Well, I've been writing up the story of what happened. I've only got about 1/10 of the way through, and it's already about 2 novels long worth. So it has taken quite a while.
Okay, well, just remember here, let me tell you exactly what to focus on.
Sorry, there's a train going by. I won't be able to concentrate. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Just remember to focus on pain and suffering. Any pain and suffering that you're inflicted on you needs to be put in your story. You are now the victim, period, all the way through.
The pain and suffering of others, do I need to include that? Because there are a lot of people who have been affected by this.
Well, there's a lot of people who have been affected by it, but right now, we're down to you. We're going to start with you first.
Yes, sir.
You can add that into your story. Because just like if you're going to write a story to the paper, you're going to do the same thing what you're going to do with me, but it's a statement, and we're going to use it as evidence, and we're going to strap it to an affidavit or strap it to the paper notarized, and we're going to plant the seeds of evidence. So that way, if you decide to sue, you have all that ready to go and sue them.
And that'll help other people who want to sue as well, correct?
Right. And what we want to do is we're going to file a claim for you under the as a beneficiary of the Constitution of the United States and at a state level and federal level, and we're going to put a charge in there for $50,000 per violation that'll be in your paperwork. So.
All right.
So then you can file claims and whatever violation that we can prove that they did violate, which I'm sure they did because I already know their MO. They probably did 1 to 50 violations against you over the 3 years, probably multiple times. So you're talking $50,000 per violation that you can file a claim, and then send it up and send it out and see what happens. So.
Yes, sir. And then I also need to send you a list of the names, numbers of witnesses and stuff like that, right?
What I need first from you is the list of the defendants that brought harm on you for the pain and suffering, for the starters. That's all I need for right now.
Yes, sir. I'll get started on that.
Then we'll get your witnesses and attach that as exhibits A, B, C, D, or whoever can be a witness and test a written statement or testify in person on behalf of you of whatever your claim is. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, I'll text you the address and the link to join a link. That way you got two options to donate, okay?
All right, thank you. And by the way, thank you for trying to help find Alicia. Thank you for the gloves. You and all those people on the bus too. I don't know if you're still in contact with any of them, but if you are, tell them thank you so much.
All right, I sure will. God bless you, brother.
You be safe. Thank you.
You too, bye-bye.
Bye. All right, so here's the lowdown and the breakdown on that. All of the things that these officers keep telling me to do, they're telling me to do things that I've already done, things that didn't work. And then they're also telling me to do things that not only have I already done, but that other officers have told me that they can't do. So, with everything that I have collected on the internet, mind you, the more violations there were against me, the more I had to break the law to defend myself, the more I had to try to force them to take a look. With this guy, I'm not sure what this is going to entail. I know that a lot of the stuff that I need to send to him, I've already collected and I've already sent to Danica Garner. I've already sent to, who else have I sent it to? I've sent it to Shannon Alvarado. I've sent it to, well, a lot of different people. I've attempted to send it to different multiple police stations. I've attempted to send it to the FBI. I've attempted to do all of this on the internet, and I actually have witnesses on this very YouTube that were obviously nobody actually sat down with me to actually help me until I got up to Washington State last year. But when they did, they had the same difficulties that I did. They had the same thing with the police not giving a holy fuck, ignoring it, saying that Starbucks had to bring that evidence in, and Starbucks is saying we can't turn over that evidence unless the police come here. One of the ladies up there, we actually sat down, actually, two of the ladies that were up there, we sat down together and tried to get started on that. And both of us had a hell of a time trying to even make heads or tails of that, let alone get anything done with it. And nobody should have to go through that. Finding the peace and quiet to do that, especially with a time limit of 2 days. I don't want to have to just basically bulk send it like I've tried with the media. I don't know what to do. But I will probably end up just having to forward what I've sent already. I'm going to start off with the messages between Natalie Bollinger and I that I have access to, and I will put Tim Beeson down since he claims to have every message between Natalie Bollinger and I. Fact is, it wasn't just the police, it wasn't just the Bollingers, it wasn't just the hospitals, or the judges, or the lawyers. It was also their friends, their family, their extended friends and family. At least 3 of the public pretenders that I had, that I was trying to turn in, were friends with each other. It's a conflict of interest. The judge that I was attempting to bring paperwork against, as well as the officers that I was attempting to bring paperwork against, and was illegally prevented from doing so at Joseph Michael Lopez court date. That allowed those judges and lawyers who had a conflict of interest to be allowed to proceed with court proceedings where I was not even allowed to be present. Had I not been illegally prevented from filing those reports, I would have had a different judge. I would have been allowed to show that evidence. They did everything that they could to prevent me from doing so. That man there, if I'd have met him way back at the beginning, instead of literally, if it hadn't been for Alicia Bollinger disappearing, if it had not been for that, well, I would have never met this man. I would have never gotten his card, and I wouldn't have been able to make that call. I did get in contact with him once before to tell him thank you. Well, I got a hold of him to send him some screenshots about Alicia Bollinger missing, and he was able to pass those out and get those out to people on the bus. And I got a hold of him to say thank you when Alicia Bollinger was found. Let's see what those messages are. Ah, he sent me a picture. That's good. We'll see what they are in specific. It's well, it's his card, which I have. Yep, same card. And it says mailing info, send pain suffering statement and latest discovery. We will do a criminal breach of our constitutional contract. Then you can do mail outs and plant the seeds and file in federal court and institutions to request an investigation. Then go after the remedy recourse by their pocketbook, insurance bond, and all above. Any judges, lawyers, police officers' names, and vital info would be good too. All right. Yes, sir, comma. Thank you very much, period. I am getting started on it now, period. Now, a lot of this stuff that I'm dealing with because of the tag of mentally ill, I will still need help to send this in. Hopefully, this man is able to help me with that. But I mean, the first thing we got to get started with is sending him everything that I got. The fact that this was in multiple jurisdictions, the fact that so many police officers took part in assaulting me because of, well, what was on my arrest record that doesn't belong there. God, me even just getting it all organized has been an impossibility. But and it's going to be a pain in the ass if I have to make him do that as well. So I guess I'll have to chunk it out in little blocks and pieces according to what happened around what period of time. Not having that evidence that was on those phones that I tried so hard to show, the fact that police officers in multiple states did not take part and did not even attempt to collect evidence and actually took part in hazing, harassing, and threatening me on multiple occasions. Um, that right there is against the law. I already know that. And apparently he is a lot more familiar with the laws than I am. He might be able to tell you exactly what statute was violated, where I've looked up the statutes that have been violated and I've written them down on multiple occasions. I've made a couple of lists and put them with some of the, evidence that was stolen. I also have on here on my YouTube a lot of conversations. So if I send those to him as well, hopefully he'll realize what a fucked up scenario this has been. This is probably a lot more work than any one person is going to be able to handle. For him to go through it all, I really hope there's a way to get some money to be able to send him. At the moment, I don't have money to take care of myself, but we're working on that as far as the disability situation goes. So we shall see.